Calm down, slow your roll. Don't let that man pump you up, get your out here, J Mane. We ain't no top flight security of the world. We just Tay and J Mane. So sit back, relax. You heard what happened to the last security guys, right?
You ain't even hear about it. So how the am I gonna hear? Just do your job and I'ma do mine.
No problem, I'm gonna do my job.
No problem. So feet out my face. At the end of the day,
yo, people got my number though.
Yeah, we'll chop it up for sure,
I'm on some violence with the
Hey, what I just tell y'all, boy.
Show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright? We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright? Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, one of the biggest questions happen to be, is all this pushing peace stuff real, or is it just for attention? Now, as y'all seen in the title and listen to the clip of Memo600 JHE Rooga on Clubhouse, it seems as if they're trying to make amends with each other, as that looks to be the new trend going around in Chicago right now. It started with FYB J Mane and Tay Savage as of lately.
Tay, it's time for us to get off work. Eat different.
Let's take this picture. So the boss when we was here, man. Your ass out on smoking the weed, man. Then it got both of us fired.
I love it.
Both being previous ops, with one repping the BDs and the other repping GDs. They've been doing a lot together, going live, cracking jokes, and now even doing skits and videos on social media together. Tay Savage has been seen lately saying that he's pushing peace and trying to quote unquote stop the violence for the kids in Chicago, and in doing so, him and FYB J Mane partnered up to bring the same message together. But here's what I want to talk about today, and I want y'all opinion on all of this stuff. And the question is, do these guys really want peace, or do they really just want attention? Now, as y'all know, I always say that as long as blood has been spilled, it can never be peace among certain people, and you can't tell them how to react. However, here we have Memo and JHE Rooga talking about making amends with each other, and this is big because Memo's biological brother, Steve McGee, aka Little Steve, have allegedly been killed by MOB Scrap member who is affiliated with JHE Rooga. In fact, is his biological brother, and the reason behind the whole gang Rooga claims, which is the Scrap gang for the late member. So these two have very, very, very significant passes. So to come together and make amends, it's more than interesting. And the biggest question is it genuine? Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's a great idea if these guys come together and show the youth coming up that you could get money and not try to be the biggest driller. However, these guys now have a series of feelings running through their head when befriending someone who was once an op. And I'm not talking about someone who you might have fought and y'all got beef like that, or he hit me or he stole this from me. No, we talking about guys who done diss each other, dead friends and family members, and even tried killing each other at some point in time, or did kill my friend or family member. So how do you trust them? How do you trust them without feeling like at any given time you're being backdoored by a friend that you once called an enemy? But that's the risk you must take when taking this route. So let's speak on a trend that's floating around when it comes to making quote unquote peace within these ops. Now, here's my personal opinion, right? The common pattern I'm seeing now is that these guys are starting to get a little money, and now they're pushing the peace narrative because they're finally getting their hands on some type of money and realize what that can do for you. So they get a little money and suddenly nobody wants to beef no more. But you know why? Because some of them finally felt what getting real money feels like, which is why I've always preached, go get some money. Stop the beefing and go get some money. Try to influence these kids to get some money as well, because that's how you shape the future. You shape the future by targeting the kids because they are the future. Now, I guarantee you that once you start getting some money, you'll start questioning why you even was beefing with so-and-so in the first place. A lot of these guys, they don't even know each other, but just because they're affiliated with, the ops, or you seen him in a video, or he said this to your friend or whatever, you want to kill him, and that's not the way to go. You got 14-year-old kids talking about they got ops. These kids are fresh off the porch, still wet behind the ears, talking about their ops. Never left the country, never left their block, let alone the state or city, but they want to beef with each other. So you know how much of a disadvantage you put yourself when you decide to start beefing at a young age, heightening your chances of losing your life before you even get to live it, putting yourself at a disadvantage before seeing the world and trying different foods, seeing different women, feeling different weather. I guarantee if kids seeing that more than beefing, they'll change their whole outlook on life. But the problem is that that's the part of life that's not being glorified. That part of life isn't being shown. What's being shown is making drill music and killing ops and seeing your idols get rich off of it and living the life that you desire. So you know what that does? That puts in the mind of these kids that they have to do the same thing to acquire that lifestyle that they so famously want. But the only problem is that not everyone makes it out. The problem is, in order to create drill music that people like and respect you for, quote unquote, you actually have to drill. And the problem with that is that when you start drilling, not everybody makes it out. Some people die trying to chase clout. Some people go to jail for eons and eons trying to chase clout. Some people died trying to live out their lyrics just to be a quote unquote real N-word. You see what I'm saying? That's what it takes to be respected. The person that lives out their lyrics, when they sit there and they tell you that they do X, Y, and Z, and you hear that they really do it, that's how they get the respect. But just think of the kids 21 and under who died and never left their city trying to live out their lyrics. Never left their block. How crazy is that? They didn't even get to live life over before it even started. Some of those same guys who was out here doing the most, now they getting a little money and want to act like they want to change it, but it don't work like that. 90% of them lying anyway. So you can't expect anything to change just because you decided to change. The same way you had to learn the hard way, even though you made it out, some of these kids are going to have to experience the same exact thing before they get a wake-up call. Only problem is, majority of them aren't going to make it out. And that's the harsh reality of it. And when I look back at it, right, if y'all remember when FBG Duck dropped Chicago Legends, bigging up his ops, the war could have stopped there. No matter how much people act like they want peace now, I will forever respect Duck more than anybody that's pushing peace, quote unquote, acting like they're trying to do it, because he did it at a time where it mattered the most. He did it at a time where it wasn't cool. He did it at a time where everyone wasn't getting money. He did it at a time where his own friends looked at him funny. So you know what that tells me? It tells me that it was genuine. It wasn't for views. It wasn't for clout. It wasn't for nothing except the betterment of his city and trying to show dudes that getting money is more important than beefing. But listen to this closely as I say this, right? Listen very close. It's not that they thought what he was doing was wrong, but some of them just didn't care to participate because they weren't the first ones to do it. Right? I'm gonna say that again. It's not that they didn't agree with what he was doing, but some of them didn't care to participate because they weren't the first ones to do it. I sit back and watch FYB J Mane and Tay Savage get praised for trying to quote unquote push peace, but not near one of them think to pay respect to Duck for being the first to do it. I mean, I don't expect Tay Savage to, because, he with the other side, it is what it is. But as far as FYB J Mane go, he's supposed to show some type of respect to FBG Duck, knowing that he tried to bring dudes together at a time when it wasn't cool. But it was the friends around that scrutinized him for it. It was the ops that laughed and dissed him for it. All for the same guys to turn around and try to do the same thing years later and get credit for it. Y'all see how life works? It reminds me of being a YouTuber and a blogger these days, right? All the so-called gangsters that laughed at YouTubers saying they doing a police job and they doing X, Y, and Z, called them all type of names. And now those same guys are YouTubers. And it's worse because they get on YouTube, Clubhouse, and IG Live saying the most incriminating stuff. Keep in mind that these are the guys who really were in the midst of some of these feuds, some of these wars. So who's worse? And bloggers are just speaking on something they seen on social media, opposed to a street dude speaking on something he actually witnessed on social media. You see how that works? So that's a lesson right there. Do not let anybody ever deter you from something that you really want or want to do in life. No matter what it is, they're going to laugh at you, especially if you're the one to do it first. But once you get some type of success in it, guess what? That's when everybody's going to start coming. So I'd rather you be the first to do it. Simple. So like I said, man, if these guys are actually trying to push peace and actually want peace, then I'm all for it. You know, because I think we're stronger together. However, if it's just a gimmick, if it's just something that these guys are trying to do because it's cool and they want attention or points or whatever the case may be, then it's corny to me. And it's funny because after you see FYB J Mane and Tay Savage, they kind of make amends with each other. They doing skits and everything. Now suddenly you see Memo600 and your boy Rooga, they coming together on Clubhouse when they was not too long ago all type of threats to each other. Now they talking about, oh, I'm gonna give you a call or call this person and trying to make amends. Like I said, I'm all for it. However, it just seems a little weird. You know what that tells me? That just shows me that a lot of the beef in the war in Chicago is due to people following the next man. That's all that is. That's all it was. If we would have nipped it in the bud a long time ago, and you had one person trying to make amends, and then hopefully the next person followed, and the next person followed, we wouldn't be at this point. A lot of these guys would still have their life. So, like I said, man, let's just see how this rolls out. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think this is about. Do y'all think it's really guys wanting to push peace, or do you think it's just all for attention? Alright, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.